Hello, my beautiful friends. I'm here in this beautiful garden called Radium Springs in Georgia, and I thought it was the perfect spot to talk about God, about Jesus that I love so much. And today I would like to share with you something that I've been studying lately, and it's about the trumpet of Jesus coming, the trumpet of the rapture. And we have in the Bible that it says that he will come, it will be like in a twinkle of an eye with the last trumpet. But which one is the last trumpet? Well, in the Bible there is reference also to the two trumpets of silver that indicate a convocation. And when it's blown for the second time, that means the last time, that's when the people are convocated. So that aligns with when Jesus blows the trumpet, that all of us are going to be convocated and caught up in the sky, in the clouds. So Jesus, how is he coming? In the twinkle of an eye, in the blink of an eye, and he's coming with a shout, with the voice of an archangel, and with the trumpet of God. He's coming, he's blowing himself the trumpet of God. This is different from the trumpets of the angels that are in Revelation. Those are for judgment. This trumpet is for the rapture of the church. And why is there going to be a rapture? Because God has not called us to wrath, and that's in the Bible. So there are two reasons why we are going to be raptured. That was the first one. God did not call us to wrath. And the second one is there are precedents in the Bible, and those precedents are when the Hebrews, for example, when the Hebrews had to protect their firstborn by putting the blood of the lamb on the doorposts. Then we have also Noah. We had to build the ark to protect the people, 8 people, his family, from the wrath of God. And we have Lot, that was saved by the angels that went to the city of Sodom and Gomorrah to take his family away and protect them from the wrath of God, the judgment of God in that city. So God has never left his people, his saints, abandoned when he's doing judgment against a wicked city. In this case, it's going to be the wicked world, the entire world. Again, I mean, he did it in the flood, and he's going to do it again. So now we know that we're not going through the tribulation, because before the precedents are that when there is a wrath, a judgment, people have not gone through the wrath or the judgment of God, the people of God. And so when Jesus comes, we can start, when he comes, he's blowing the trumpet of God, right? And the way I look at it is going all the way to the ending, where the church is. So that at the end, the church is coming in the New Jerusalem. That's where the angel that was blowing one of the trumpets of judgment told John, come, I'm going to show you the wife of the Lamb, the wife of Jesus. And who is the wife of Jesus? Is us, the church. So the church comes way at the end, the people that were raptured that are there. Now, there are going to be some people that are going to be with Jesus in the millennium, and I see that as the first ones receiving rewards, and they will be in kingdoms with him. He needs some people to help him to manage that 1,000 years of reign on earth. And so before that, the 1,000 year reign comes the tribulation, and that's when Jesus comes in the Armageddon, because that's when the Jewish people are going to claim they're going to accept Jesus as the Messiah. Right now, we went to Israel by the end of April this year, 2023, and they have not yet, as a whole, accepted Jesus as the Messiah. They're still waiting for the Messiah. And we saw that about 40% of the population in Jerusalem is Jewish Orthodox. And in most Israel, they're still either are secular or are Orthodox, and the percentage of Christians is very low. It's like 2 to 3% or so. And Jesus said, he was very disappointed, and he said, Jerusalem, I'm not coming until you say, blessed is the one that comes in the name of the Lord. So we have to continue praying for Jerusalem, for Israel, so they acknowledge and accept and love Jesus as the Messiah. Because right now, they think he is a prophet, and a lot of Muslim people also think he was just a prophet, which he wasn't. And so we have that detail during the tribulation. Now, the event before, and then when he comes, he's going. That's something very interesting that we found when we were into Israel. He's going to come to the Mount of Olives, and that's the same place where he ascended into heaven. And the two angels told the disciples, "Why are you looking at him? The same way he ascended, he's coming back." So he's touching down in the Mount of Olives when he comes with his white horse as the King of Kings, Lord of Lords, and all his armies, beautiful in heaven, and they land there in the Mount of Olives. And there's going to be a big earthquake that is going to separate those mountains as a valley, a big valley. And now something interesting we learned is that the Jewish people that believe in him are buried. Thousands of people are buried. You can see like one tomb right to each other, because they want to be the first ones resurrected when Jesus comes. So they want to be right there, buried in the Mount of Olives. So that was something we learned. The guide told us during this trip. So before the tribulation, there's going to happen the rapture of the church. Because like I was saying, that God has not called us to wrath. So he's going to protect us from the wrath that is coming to the world. And the way to protect us is to rapture us in the clouds. So another reason why we know of the rapture, we already know of the precedents of situations before, when there were wrath, when the flood, when Lot and Sodom and Gomorrah, when in Egypt, when they put the blood in the doorposts. And Jesus, another reason we know is because he said, "I am not going to leave you orphans. I'm coming back to take you where I am." And he said, in his Father's house are many mansions, and he's going to build many places. He's going to build a mansion for us. And then if he goes to build the mansion, he's coming back. And when he explained that to the Jewish people, it was based on how the weddings were done at that time. So he explained it that way. So then the Jewish people can pass it from generation to generation, and then it comes to us, and we have to do a little bit more digging because we did not grow up in the same culture. But basically, during the Jewish wedding, what happens is when they are betrothed, then the husband goes to his father's house to add to his father's house, to build a house for them. And so there, when it's ready, when the father thinks it's ready, he tells his son, "It's time for you to go and get your bride." And it's an unknown time, only the father knows. So that's why, it's similar. Jesus used that, something that was in the culture of how the wedding was done in that time for Jewish people, so they would understand easily. So once at that time the father of the groom says, "Okay, it's time to go collect your bride," he will go with some friends and very like a party, go to the house. Usually, I think already was during midnight. He will go to collect his wife, and they will lift her up in their arms. So she will be lifted up. I don't know if it was, with their arms, but I don't know if they put a chair or something, but she was lifted up. She was caught up, like the church will be, like Jesus's wife. And that's, like why he said it that way. So we know that he's coming. He's going to blow the trumpet, and that's something, very, very beautiful. And the reason also trumpets are very significant, because I believe Jesus is coming during the festival or the Feast of Trumpets. That's one of the 7 festivities of God, and that's in Leviticus, all the 7 festivities that God appointed the Hebrew people to do. And one day I had a dream where I saw a semicircle being drawn, which later on, through revelation from God, I learned is the new moon. The Trumpet Festival is the only festival that has a new moon, starts with the new moon. And it's a mystery. That festival is a mystery. And we also have in Colossians mentioned that these festivals and the new moon are a shadow of the things to come. I learned all this after the dream. God gave me the dream like to kick off the thought and the learning and the understanding, because I had no idea. I only knew my knowledge was limited about the festivities of God. And I'm gonna leave the link of a video I prepared with the details of my dream and the interpretation of what it meant. So that festival of trumpet is very important. I think it's coming in that festival of trumpets. I don't know when, but that festival I celebrated what is called Rosh Hashanah. And in Israel, it's very important. It's a big festivity, and they blow the shofar, and they post, if you saw in the hotels, blow the trumpet in Zion. That's a verse from Joel, and it was so awesome, because I don't see that here in the U.S. But there it was normal. By the elevator, we saw the big sign, beautiful sign with a shofar and saying blow the trumpet in Zion. They were celebrating the 75th anniversary of the formation of the nation of Israel that happened in 1948. So we have all the things or prophecies that were pointing to the coming of Jesus pretty much have been fulfilled, because he said, the summer is near when you see the fig tree. Fig tree is also a way to call Israel, turns green, it blossoms. Israel is beautiful, has blossomed. They have farms, they have cherries, apples, plantains, mangoes, everything's fresh. I mean, the food is delicious. And so they have blossomed, and they have a lot of science, Nobel Prize winners. So they have gone a long way. Where it used to be for 2,000 years abandoned desert swamps, they drained the swamps. They changed the deserts were converted into green fields for harvesting. They used a system to desalinate the water. Before, they were using the Sea of Galilee, but the Sea of Galilee was kind of going low in level. So they learned the way of desalinization of water from the Mediterranean Sea, and that's what they're doing nowadays. They use a lot of solar energy everywhere. Every house we will see the solar energy, the drums for the water heaters, and on top of the house they would have the solar panels. So they have come a long way. Now what's missing? What's missing is that Jerusalem says, blessed is the one that comes in the name of the Lord. Jesus said he was not coming back to Jerusalem until they said, blessed is the one that comes in the name of the Lord. So our task is to continue praying for Jerusalem, that they recognize Jesus as Lord and they come to salvation also. Oh, there's some nuts here, sorry, in Georgia. That's very typical. I'm here around the trees, and they love the trees too. So that's one detail very important. And I think after the rapture, then that's when the Jewish people are going to realize, they were right. The rapture happened, these people are gone. And even though probably the news are going to say that it was the alien or whatever they make up, but we know, the believers, we know that what happened, right? And so when the Jewish people see that, I think that's when they're going to claim in Jerusalem that blessed is the one that comes in the name of the Lord. And they're going to call out for Jesus after the tribulation. He's coming for the Armageddon and landing on the Mount of Olives. So it's very important to continue praying for Jerusalem. And we know that the Bible also talks about the gathering of the saints, and that will be after the tribulation. It says gathering of the saints. The angels will gather them from one corner of the earth to another, but that's after tribulation. So that, I believe, those are the people that are going to be in the kingdom with Jesus, reigning, being governments and kings there in different countries with Jesus. And people that have been martyred at that time, beheaded, they're going to be receiving their the resurrected body, the glorious body. So there is a lot of hope. I'm very excited, and I think learning about this, about reading more, connecting all the dots, having that prophetic dream that he gave me, it's very significant, and I'm very, very happy about that. So we know that, in summary, we're going to be raptured, the dead people first, then the ones that remained alive, and after the rapture, we're going to go to the mansions that he went to prepare. Like in the Jewish wedding, he went to the father's house. The father said, go and get your bride. He's getting the bride, taking her in the clouds, protecting her, and taking her to the mansions that he built for us. Then after that, what I understand from reading the Bible, as we stay there, and the tribulation is coming. The Jewish people are going to call for Jesus. Jesus comes to the Mount of Olives. After that, the 1,000 reign. And then after the 1,000 reign of the kingdom of Jesus on earth, comes the white throne of judgment. And that's where people that are saved are going to receive rewards. The people that are not saved are going to the lake of fire. And after all that comes the New Jerusalem, comes the bride. And the angel, one of the angels that was blowing the trumpets of judgment, the seventh angel, asked John to come with him to show him the bride of Jesus. And it's the New Jerusalem, is dressed in beautiful jewels and stones, and is made out of gold. It's a big place. Some people that have used the numbers in the Bible to calculate how big it's going to be. It's like United States, Canada together. It's a huge, multi-level, like millions of people can be there. So that will be the center of command, and then they're going to be the countries, the nations around in the world, in the new earth. That's in the new earth when the New Jerusalem comes, and that's the bride. The bride, who is the bride? The bride is the church. So the church comes in the New Jerusalem. So when that happens, then there's going to be center of command, Jerusalem, and the nations around in the world that have to come every year to honor God and Jesus in Jerusalem. It's beautiful. It's true. It's alive, and it became more alive after going to Israel this trip this year. It's like Jerusalem, Israel is in my heart. It's very close. It's like it grows inside of me every day. It's like more love for them, and it's like feeling how the Bible, how it happened, like seeing the city of David, seeing Shiloh, well, where the tabernacle was, where Hannah prayed. It's all true, it's all real, and God is here with you today. And if you would like, if you have not been saved yet and would like to be saved, I invite you to read a prayer in Romans, and so that you also will be saved and enjoy all this love that God has for you. And I invite you to like this video and subscribe so you can receive more videos and help the channel to grow. In that way we can get to more people around the world that probably have never heard of Jesus, or how to be saved, or the wonderful things that God has for us. Be blessed and have a good day.